If you've been working from home or your children are remote learning, you may have noticed your electricity bill costs creeping up a bit. But according to a new article published on CBSNews.com, technology improvements and a tax credit extension are making it easier for homeowners to retrofit their places with green energy sources and save money. So joining us now to discuss her story is CBS MoneyWatch Associate Managing Editor Irina Ivanova. Irina, thank you so much for joining us. I actually try not to look at the bills and let my husband look at the bills, but I have wondered, we got a whole setup at home here. It's got to be costing something. Why is it a good time to consider upgrading your home with new power sources? And, what are the options? What are the tax credits that are available?
Yeah, and Maria, I've spoken with a lot of people who are in a similar situation. They've been working from home and they're seeing their energy use and their bills just go way, way up. So late last year, Congress extended some tax credits that had been set to expire that basically knocked down the cost of renewable energy systems. So they can be used for solar and a battery, for a geothermal heating system, even for a small wind power system, if you happen to have a very, very large property. So this year and next year, the credit is worth 26% of the cost of a clean energy system. In 2023, it drops down to 22%, and after that, it expires. Now, what's more is a lot of states and even some cities have their own incentives. That's on top of the federal tax credit. So those can be in the form of a state tax credit or a rebate that you get from your local utility. And these can vary quite a bit, but it's not uncommon for rebates to be in the $5,000 to $10,000 range. So they can be quite significant. So if you are considering a new system, one of the first steps is to check with your utility to see what they can offer.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Solar rooftop panels. They are well known for reducing bills and, of course, your carbon footprint. But not everyone has the option to install them in their homes. What are some of the other ways people could access solar energy?
That's right. Solar panels have become more accessible, but they're not going to be an option for everyone. Say your roof could just be too small, or you could have a lot of trees overlooking your house. Or if you're in a condo building or you rent, it's just not an option at all. So some states have what's known as community solar. And the way that works is you can subscribe to a local solar farm, and you will get power from that facility instead of through your utility. And if you have the option to access one of these, community managers of these programs say you can save 5 to 10% or more of your power bill. It can be quite affordable. Now, the bulk of these programs right now are in just 4 states, Colorado, Massachusetts, Minnesota, and New York. But more than 20 states have actually passed laws to make these types of programs more accessible. And there is a push to bring this nationwide.
What other technologies are gaining popularity when it comes to green energy for your home?
So in addition to solar power, we've seen a huge rise in the use of power storage or batteries. Last year was the biggest ever for battery installations, and about 1 in every 5 solar systems that was installed last year came with a battery. Analysts expect that to continue, especially as we're seeing more and more power outages as our grid ages. Now, for most people, the best thing about batteries is they keep you prepared for emergencies and outages. They keep your essential gadgets running, but they can also save you money. So, for instance, some utilities will pay you to get access to your battery for a few days a month, and that way you're providing backup power if, for instance, your neighbor has an outage. And you could make a few $100s every year that way and offset a good portion of the cost of installing that battery. And then aside from electricity, another major expense for homeowners is heating and cooling. And for most people, it's actually the main source of carbon emissions from your home. So one green option that is growing is geothermal heating and cooling. And the way that works is it puts coils into the soil, and it basically brings the ambient temperature of the earth, which is very consistent year-round. It brings that to your house to heat it and to cool it. So it's still a very niche option. It's not widespread, but it is growing very fast. And a study from the Department of Energy a couple of years ago estimated that up to 28 million homes in the U.S. could be candidates for geothermal. So it's an option worth considering for homeowners who have very expensive who have very high heating costs if they're using fuel oil or another expensive fuel source to heat their home. You do get a federal tax credit for it. And then in some states, like in New York and Connecticut, utilities will give people rebates ranging from about $3,000 to about $13,000 to switch to geothermal.
Hey, every little bit helps. Irina, thank you.
Thank you.